Hello, second grade friends. It's Miss Dimitri again for another lesson on theme. Hold on 1 minute while I share my screen with you. All right. So we are on week 10. This is day 3. We are going to be identifying the theme in a fictional text. This is the last day of theme, so I'm going to make it pretty challenging for you. First, let's review. You can read this with me if you'd like. The theme is what the author wants the reader to learn. To identify the theme, good readers think, what does the author want me to learn from the story? Is there a lesson that I can apply to my own life? What is the story's big idea? What message can I take from the story? Here are some examples of themes. Yesterday, when we read the Langston Hughes poem Dreams, we thought that the theme was to dream big and to never give up on your dreams. Here are some other examples. All right, so we have the same learning targets today. We'll first have a warm up where I can analyze important events to identify the theme of an image. Then we'll move on to poetry. I can analyze important events to identify the theme of a poem. And then I'll go over your reading response. I can analyze important events to identify the theme of a fictional text. So let's go ahead and start with the warm up. Like I said earlier, since this is the last day, I wanted to challenge you all. So let me show you our warm up. All right, here is the set of images I want you to look at. There are 8 images. Here's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, 6, 7, and 8. So what I want you to do is go ahead and pause your video, and I want you to look at each image and try to think about what is happening in these images. What is the story? What are the characters doing? How do you think they're feeling? So pause the video, and you can also think aloud to either yourself or someone around you to talk through what you see and to pull out text evidence. All right, I hope you all did a great job of thinking aloud. Now we have to think about the theme. What is the theme? What lesson can we learn? Maybe something like this has happened to you before. Maybe you can make a connection to this. So let's go ahead and analyze what we see. So let's start with the first 4 images. So what I noticed is that the girl uses and spills her mom's makeup. I don't think the makeup is hers because children don't usually wear makeup. And she spills it on the floor. So then it looks like her mom in image 3 comes in and the girl looks surprised. I can tell that she looks surprised because she has her hands behind her back and her eyebrows are raised. So she looks really surprised. Then in the next image, in the last picture, she is upset, but it looks like she tells the truth. So it looks like she's crying because she's frowning, but I think she's telling the truth because she's kind of pointing to the mess. And sometimes when we tell the truth, it can be hard. And so it probably made her feel a little upset. So that's the text evidence for the first 4 sets of pictures. Let's see the next set to see if we can find the theme. Okay, so let's look at that fifth picture. What are they doing in that fifth picture? It looks like they clean up the mess, right? In the sixth picture, we see those thought bubbles. So that text evidence made me think that her mom is talking to her about chores. And then what do we see her doing in the seventh image? The girl cleans her room. So maybe this is connected to that conversation she had with her mom. And then in the eighth picture, we see the little girl giving her mom a hug. So that makes me think that both of those characters are feeling pretty happy. So we pulled out a lot of text evidence. What is the theme? What lesson can we learn? Go ahead and pause the video and think aloud to yourself. What did you learn from these sets of images? Well, I pulled out about 3 themes. Maybe you thought of similar themes. Let's see. So the first is be honest. So in one of the first slides, when the mom walks in and sees the little girl with all of the makeup on the floor, she's honest about it. Even though it's hard and it made her feel upset because she did something wrong, at least she was honest, right? So that's one lesson. Another theme is to learn from your mistakes. So for me, it seems like after the mom had the conversation with the little girl really learned her lesson because you see that she's cleaning up her room, she's cleaning up her mess, and she learned something from the mistakes she made at the beginning with the makeup. And the last theme I pulled out is to be responsible. So the mother talks to the little girl about responsibilities and doing chores. And in the seventh image, where she's cleaning her room, it looks like she's taking responsibility. She is keeping her room tidy and she's doing the right thing. So those are 3 things that I found. It's possible that you looked at the text evidence and found a different theme. But we are done with our first learning target. We analyzed important events to identify the theme of an image or a set of images. Let's move on to poetry. Okay, this is a longer poem, but like I said, since it's the last day of theme, I really wanted to challenge you. So there are 2 stanzas in this poem. Remember, I told you that stanzas are like paragraphs in a poem. So we are going to do one of the stanzas together, but then you are going to be responsible for analyzing the second stanza. So this poem is called Taking One for the Team by Sarah Holbrook. Let's read it 2 times. The first time, if you would like to listen and follow along, that's great. And then the second time, I would love for you to read it with me. Before we begin, I want to talk about 2 different words that may be unfamiliar. The first word is pummeled. That means tackled. And the next word is bicker. A synonym for bicker is argue. So if you're bickering with someone, you're arguing with someone. Okay, let's go ahead and read it 2 times. Taking One for the Team by Sarah Holbrook. We practiced together, sweat and stained. We pummeled each other and laughed off pain. Teams may disagree, may tease, may blame. Teams may bicker and whine, but get down for the game. You had my back. We fought the fight. And though our score was less last night, we're walking tall. Our team came through and stuck together like crazy glue. I'm proud to say I lost with you. All right, let's read it one more time, and this time let's read it together. Taking One for the Team by Sarah Holbrook. We practiced together, sweat and stained. We pummeled each other and laughed off pain. Teams may disagree, may tease, may blame. Teams may bicker and whine, but get down for the game. You had my back, we fought the fight, and though our score was less last night, we're walking tall. Our team came through and stuck together like crazy glue. I'm proud to say I lost with you. So I don't know about you all, but when I read this poem, I am visualizing in my head what is going on in this poem, and I'm sure you are too. So let's start to think about the theme or the lesson that we can learn. I think one thing that will help us to identify the theme is to really go into this poem and analyze the important parts. So let's do that together. All right. So the first thing I think is important is something in the title, team, and the part that says we practiced together. So this text evidence leads me to infer that they are on a sports team because they're practicing together, they're on a team. And then some other clues, sweat and stained and pummeled, those text clues make me infer that they are possibly playing football because they're sweaty. I'm thinking that maybe their clothes are stained from falling on the ground. They're pummeling each other, which means maybe they're tackling a little bit. I think they're playing football. So the next part of the poem that I highlighted a lot of verbs. Verbs are action words, right? So it says that they laughed off the pain, that teams may disagree, tease and blame, bicker and whine, but they get down for the game. So those verbs, some of those verbs are positive, like laughing, that's a good feeling, but other verbs in the stanza are kind of negative, like disagreeing, teasing, blaming, bickering, and whining. So what I wrote here for text evidence is that teams laugh together, but sometimes they argue. You know, when you're on a team, there's good times and there are bad times. You have both. Whoop. So, like I said, we're only doing the first stanza together. The second stanza, I want you all to try to do on your own. It's going to be part of your reading response. So what I want you to do is reread Taking One for the Team by Sarah Holbrook. And then what I want you to do is find and record text evidence and think about what lesson the author wants you to learn. Record the theme or big idea you learned from the poem. Okay, so something you can do is to just get any sheet of paper and fold it in half. On one side, you can write your text evidence, and on the other side, you can write your theme or the lesson that you learned from the poem. So just think about the different phrases in the poem. We fought the fight, though our score was less last night. We're walking tall. Our team came through and stuck together like crazy glue. I'm proud to say I lost with you. So I think you all will do a great job on that. So I have also been giving you all daily challenges this week. And I have another one for you, but this is no longer a daily challenge. It is a summer challenge because this is the last day of RPS at home for reading. So what I want you to do is use what we practiced today to read The Monkey and the Peas and complete pages 128 through 133 in that packet. And like I said before, another term for theme is the central message. So if you want to do even more, if you are a master of theme and you want another challenge, I have another challenge for you. First, let's just check our learning targets. But here is the last part of the summer challenge. It is to complete both iReady lessons on theme or central message, like they call it. One is focused around the book Running is for the Birds, and the other one is called The Two Tiny House. So this is really great practice for finding the theme. All right. I hope you all enjoyed this week of identifying the theme. I thought it was really fun to not just identify the theme in stories, but to look at images and to analyze poems. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you all have an excellent summer. Thank you for learning and reading with me.